I added Jordan. To the presentation because I think he's got a really interesting story, and I think he's covering most of it in his slides. But 4 years ago, Jordan was a reseller of a product on Amazon. He actually was a wholesaler of products on Amazon. Today, he has his own manufacturing. He has his own retail store, not web store, physical store. And he sells one of the most commoditized products on Amazon. And so I thought it'd be great for him to kind of share like how you take your business each step to the next level. And if you want to get into brick and mortar, like what type of hurdles and stuff you got to overcome. So Jordan, come on up and join us.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
He's the better looking Checketts. Oh wait, that's on camera.
I didn't say it. No, thanks, Jeff. My name is Jordan Checketts, commonly known around here as Brandon's brother. I'm okay with that because Brandon's a good man. I'm very proud to be his brother. I'm excited to be here today. First time I've ever presented at an Amazon conference. How many of you, when you saw the title of my presentation, were like, I want nothing to do with brick and mortar. I am in e-commerce. Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of hands to be raised. 5 years ago, I felt that exact same way. I kind of fell into brick and mortar by chance, and I'm very, very grateful that I did. The truth is, last year, 2017, my bottom line was more affected by my brick and mortar wholesale side of the business than it was my e-commerce business. And so that's why I'm hoping that I can kind of open your guys' mindset. If right now you've got all these barriers and you're like, I want nothing to do with this guy, please just keep an open mind and I'll walk you through my process and my journey and hopefully be able to add some value to what you guys do in your Amazon businesses. I'll kind of start briefly. I'm going to try to fly through my history, but I want you guys to know also how I fell into brick and mortar. I started selling books back in 2010. How many of you remember Jeff mentioning that Brandon would go and buy these trailer loads of books and sell them on Amazon? Yeah, I was the grunt guy. I was the guy cleaning all those books and identifying the condition and selling those on Amazon. That's how I learned Amazon. It was a crappy business. The business did well, but it was crappy work. But it taught me Amazon really, really well. And so it ended up really playing to my advantage. I'm already messing up. I did not hold it for a second, I promise. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So in 2011, I started my own little wholesale thing, mostly because I hated this world of books. And BlendTech Blender, are any of you familiar with the Will It Blend commercials, right? They throw a cell phone in a blender and it destroys it. It's really cool. Anyway, it went viral on YouTube. We had connections with a company called BlendTech, and so we started selling them on Amazon. One thing we loved about that is that they had a minimum advertised price, right? Most of us in here knows the value of that as an Amazon seller. It protects your margins. Amazon hates it, but we love it. Early 2012, I discovered this product called Maverick meat thermometers. My goal with BlendTech, and after selling BlendTech, was I want to find more products that have minimum advertised price. And so I would literally go on Amazon. I would search for products just generically. I would intentionally try to find products that had multiple sellers, all selling Prime at the same price, right? Kind of backwards thinking, like I'm looking for competition in a way. But it was so I could protect my profit margin. So I found this company called Maverick meat thermometers, and it quickly became our best-selling product. They retailed for $59.99, and this really kind of launched our growth. At this point, I'm still pretty small, and I'm just rolling all the revenue and all the profit back into the business. Okay, so here's the Maverick listing when I started, and like I said, my strategy was I was looking for multiple sellers, and so that was part of the issue too. 14 sellers of this product, we're all selling for $59.99, we're all Prime. I had this genius idea, this is back in 2011, this wasn't super common back then, but I'm like, I'm gonna contact Maverick thermometers, and I'm gonna see if they'll give me exclusivity on a different color. So I did that, and boom, I had the black version, and black was a lot better looking anyway. So it literally took me like 2 months to become the best-selling product over the white version, and I won the buy box 100% of the time. Right? This is probably a principle most of you have applied at some level. Well, Maverick, the company, they were really excited about my success as well, so much that in fact in about 3 more months, the listing looked something like that. Those other 14 sellers were really mad at me, so they went to Maverick and did the same dang thing. And so pretty soon, like, we have this big pie of this meat thermometer, and I'm loving it. Like, I'm on cloud 9. Like, I'm just rolling in the dough at this point, early in my business. And now this pie is divided into even more competition. So one day I'm on the listing, and I'm figuring out, how can I optimize this more? I want to get back to, winning the majority of this product. And under the frequently bought together, I think maybe it's because I'm not pointing it in that direction. Here it goes. You like how I made the slide fall? I felt like I was in college a little bit putting the presentation together. It was good. Under frequently bought together, I saw this product. Now, by the show of the hands, who has seen this product? I see people smiling because they probably sell a version of this product, right? But this is back in 2011, and this was the only version of this product on Amazon at the time. And it was doing pretty well. And I'm like, frequently bought together. Man, I'm going to buy this product. I'm going to bundle it with my Maverick thermometer, and I'm going to kill it, and I'm going to win the market share again for this product. Well, I reached out to the owner of this product, this company, and it was this awesome guy named Tim, special soul. He was a lot of fun. And I told him my strategy. I said, I want to bundle these bear paws with this Maverick thermometer. Can I sell on Amazon? No, you can't sell on Amazon. I'm sorry, I have an exclusive arrangement. Well, I fully understand that, right? As an Amazon seller, I'm like, dang, somebody beat me to the punch. But I'm like, oh, fine, I won't sell just the bear paws. I'll sell the bear paws only bundled with this product. I won't sell the bear paws in and of themselves. Can I have exclusive, or can I sell that? He was very, very loyal to this other seller, and he's like, no. And, I'm an honest, ethical business person. That's at the heart of everything I do. And I didn't want to push him to do something dishonest or unethical. And so I'm like, fine, I understand. Let me buy a case of this product, and I'll at least try to move it on other marketplaces. My goal there was mostly to maintain the relationship with him, that hoping at some point when the exclusivity ends or something, that I can then jump into the picture. Well, I bought a case of 96. I sold them on eBay. I think I sold like 6 units over the first 6 months. It was ridiculous, right? And I remember calling him up and buying a second case just to maintain the relationship. I just wanted to keep the conversation going. And so I keep on pitching him all my Amazon ideas, and I'm like, man, here's why you really need to figure out a way to let me do some of these things, because I know I can kill it for you. Well, after about 8 months of that, he kind of surprised me one day, and he called me up and he says, Jordan, he's like, I love all of your ideas. I think you're a sharp businessman. I want to retire. Do you want to buy the company? So total curveball, right? Unexpected. I have always looked up to my older brother, Brandon, very smart businessman. I called him up, and I was like, Brandon, what do you think, man? These guys want to sell the company. At this point, I'm only in my mid-20s. I had barely bought my first house, first time I'd ever owed any money to anybody. I hated the idea of having a mortgage. And now they were trying to sell me a company that was 3-4 times the value of the house I just bought. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I could take that on. So, I actually consulted with Brandon quite a bit and ran through all the numbers. And, in the back of my mind this whole time, I'm very, very keen on this idea that obviously if you own the product, you can sell it on Amazon, right? It's this really neat concept. And so so we ended up negotiating, and eventually I bought the company. So now I'm finally able to sell on Amazon. I'm finally able to bundle it with the Maverick. I can actually even sell it just as itself on Amazon. And the bundling with the Maverick works even better than I had hoped for. It was incredible. We absolutely blew it up. And so that's that story. Oh, by the way, when I bought the company, there was also 150 brick and mortar stores that this guy was selling to, right? I fell into this world of brick and mortar. I didn't care about the brick and mortar stores. I thought, oh, that's great. That's a little side revenue, right? I'll maintain those 150 stores. Well, one of the stores was a store called Cabela's, right? We all know Cabela's. All the other stores were these, I call them independent or ma and pa type stores. They have 1 or 2 locations. And I'm like, man, we'll take care of them. I want to take care of them. I want to keep supplying them product. But, man, I was so focused on Amazon. That was my strategy. The manufacturing, when we bought the Bear Paw products, was actually contracted out. There's a company in Mesa, Arizona, an injection molding company, and they were actually doing all the manufacturing for this product. And right after I bought the company, within a week or so, I went down there because I wanted to see the mold. I wanted to meet these people that were going to be so vital to the success of my company. And the place was a dump. If I would have seen this place before I bought the company, I may not have bought the company. It was bad. The nicest people in the world. I'm actually very, very good friends with the owner of that company to this day. But the place was a dump. So that was kind of an eye-opener. And oh yeah, this mold that produces this product is on its last legs. You need to buy a new mold. Curveball that I didn't see coming. And that was an error on my part. I didn't do my due diligence in that regard. This was a whole new world to me. I didn't even know to ask that question, right? So anyone here know how expensive molds are for injection molding? Yeah, they're pretty spendy, right? They're pretty dang spendy. So I'm like, oh, what's a new mold going to cost me? He's like, probably at least 30 grand. I'd barely bought the company. I didn't have 30 grand laying around. So fortunately, we were able to work through some numbers, and I ended up buying a new mold. And this is what the product looks like today. We had it redesigned. We had it cleaned up. You'll notice there's kind of an oval track design around the logo. That's actually an insert that we can remove from the mold, and we can replace and private label for other people. We can add their logo to it. That's why you see that oval track there. And I'm very grateful we had the foresight, because that ended up really ultimately helping us land Walmart. And so we bought the mold, and now we have this beautiful product. So these are variations of the product, right? When you own the product line, you can do whatever you want with it. So we're doing color variations. We're private labeling. Oklahoma Joe's. This is a subsidiary of Charbroil, right? We're all familiar with Charbroil, a really big company. We manufacture for them now. Cultivator Claw. When we, actually, this is actually before we bought Bear Paw products, we would go on. I literally read all like 2,000 product reviews on Amazon of this product. A couple dozen of them mentioned how amazing the product was for tilling their gardens, right? So I'm like, let's just rebrand it and create a product. Now this product, why it looks identical, is a much more expensive material. It's actually a metal replacement. And we just sell it as a one-pack. But all these opportunities now came into play that I didn't see coming. So now I'm going to talk about this world of brick and mortar, right? I fell into this world of brick and mortar, had no intention of getting there, but now I was there. Let's learn a little bit about it. Here on the left, we have the e-commerce sales per year. And these numbers differ slightly from some of the other presentations that have been done. But I felt like my source was reliable, but it's in the same ballpark. $453 billion done through e-commerce in the U.S. in 2017. Okay. Anybody have any idea how much was done through brick and mortar? You can throw numbers out if you want. $1 trillion? Okay. All right. Some good thoughts out there. Now let's say, for example, 453 billion. Let's say that the area of this bar represents 453 billion. There is your brick and mortar sales for the U.S. in 2017. 3.496 trillion with a T dollars in the U.S. Okay? So I say this to help you guys understand that, yes, Amazon's amazing. I'm very invested in Amazon, right? I have an Amazon business. We do several million a year. I love Amazon, but there's this other big pie that we shouldn't overlook. There could be opportunities for you. 3.496 trillion. Oh, I did it again. Okay, so if you break that down, that's about 13% of the retail is done through e-commerce as of last year. 87% of it is done through brick and mortar. And by the way, this brick and mortar, it excludes automobiles, gasoline, restaurants, anything that you wouldn't even have an option to buy on e-commerce. It excludes those, so we're comparing apples to apples. Now, a lot of people are focused on e-commerce, and we're saying this is the wave of the future, and I do believe that to an extent. The reason we say e-commerce is so amazing, last year it grew 16% year over year. It is growing at an incredible rate, and we all know this, right? There's been several talks and presentations on that. Brick and mortar sales in 2017 grew 3.8% year over year compared to 16%. But there's a key factor there, guys. Brick and mortar still grew, okay? So I want e-commerce sellers to get out of this mindset of like e-commerce is the future. Yes, it is the future. It's a big part of the future. But brick and mortar is going to be around for a very long time as well, okay? So I hope that this can kind of help clear that mindset a little bit. And a few other things to kind of allude to that. Here's Walmart's stock prices over the last 30 years. Walmart's not doing too shabby, guys, okay? Home Depot, same situation. Target, same situation. We sell our products in Target as well. We love Target. They're amazing to work with. And last but not least, Best Buy, right? Everyone's like, electronics, those are only being bought online. Best Buy is doing awesome, you guys. Now, here's the situation. On the right-hand side here, you can kind of see a breakdown of store counts. In 2012, they had 1,103 stores. That's the most stores they ever had in the U.S. In 2018, they had 1,008. It was a decline of 95 stores, but I don't think it's as significant as a lot of us in the e-commerce world, where we're so kind of narrow-visioned, understand. Best Buy is simply adjusting to marketplace demands, right? We've all seen the vending machines in the airport and different things. It's a brick and mortar store that they're adjusting to the market. And as was mentioned, a lot of these brick and mortar stores are moving online. They recognize the importance of online. Walmart, obviously Walmart.com, very aggressive. They bought Jet last year or 2 years ago. HomeDepot.com is actually like the 6th or 7th largest e-commerce site in the country. But it works both ways. Who here has heard of Amazon Go? Nobody? Some people? What is Amazon Go? It's a brick and mortar store, you guys. It is a brick and mortar store. Now, it's a very clever take on a brick and mortar store, but it is a physical, tangible store where consumers can go, get a product, and leave with it, okay? And so I want you guys to realize, and a lot of the research I did that I kind of took out of these slides because I just don't think I have time for it, but consumers want an omni-channel experience. We've all been there where we go into the store and we see a product and we're like, I'm going to scan this and see if I can get it cheaper on Amazon, right? Or we've all been like, man, I really need this product. I found this on Amazon. It's killing it, but I need it tonight. I can't wait for my 2-day shipping. I'm going to run down to Walmart and pick it up, right? It works both ways. Consumers love this omni-channel experience. And again, I'm not saying that you have to be in brick and mortar and that this is right for everybody, but I'm just trying to free your minds up a little bit to the idea. So what brick and mortar has meant for me, right? 2013, this is when I bought Bear Paws. I only owned it for part year. This is all top-line revenue figures, and this is my e-commerce company, okay, in 2013. Now, you can see how it's grown over time. And the thing that I want to kind of direct your attention to, look at the proportion of my brick and mortar compared to my proportion of e-commerce. It's growing exponentially quicker, and it's amazing. Now, here's another fun fact, maybe. Right now, we own, most of our e-commerce is through our own products. We don't resell for other manufacturers very often anymore, with very few exceptions of accounts that we had in the beginning that we've carried over. So we sell about 40 of our own SKUs through our e-commerce company. This brick and mortar figure is pretty much like 98% based off of one SKU, okay, and that's Bear Paws. So imagine if I can find one more of those, or 2 more of those, and then it gets pretty amazing to think about. So how do you, and my hope is at this point that you're a little more open-minded about this world of brick and mortar, how would you identify a right product for retail? The first thing is it must be a unique product that is not already commonplace in retail stores. Bear Paws were killing it on Amazon, but they weren't available hardly anywhere in brick and mortar, with the exception of the stores that came with the company when I bought it. So it needs to be a unique product. You can't go to China and private label a product and expect to get into brick and mortar with it. You have to modify that product, improve that product, find ways to bring more value to consumers in order to kind of itch your way into the world of brick and mortar. Only consider products you own. If you're purchasing from somebody and you're trying to get it in brick and mortar, the margins just will not be there. The 20 to 25% rule. This was kind of alluded to in the last presentation, so I was really happy to hear that. All right, Squatty Potty. Who here is familiar with the Squatty Potty? Wow, see? Squatty Potty is killing it, right? So I'm going to use this 20-25% rule with the Squatty Potty. Now, this retails for $24.99, so if I'm doing the 20 to 25% rule, if it's retailing at $24.99, 20 to 25% of the target MSRP is $5 to $6.25. That's where I want my manufacturing costs to be. Now, an important factor here is that is not where they need to be today, okay? That's where they need to be able to get to if I'm ordering tens of thousands of these at a time to put them in Walmart. So don't look at where your costs are today and say, okay, well, I need to divide that by 0.2 so I know what my target MSRP is. You might be overpricing the market. Figure out what your target MSRP needs to be to move product and work backwards. Made in USA is a huge advantage. Ultimately, this is what got us into Walmart. Walmart several years ago signed an initiative where they were they obligated themselves to order so many billions of dollars of made in USA products. Okay, well, Bear Paws were made in Arizona, made in USA. And so they actually had a conference where they only allowed made in USA products. We went to that, and ultimately that's what got us into Walmart. So it's not necessary, but if you have a product that is made in the USA, it is a big advantage. And you need to have complete control over the Amazon listing. When I'm meeting with potential retailers that want to carry our product, everybody brings up Amazon, you guys. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about later in this presentation that excites me. They are fully aware of Amazon and what Amazon means. And so when I'm meeting with Walmart buyers or Target buyers, I'm spending half the time talking about my Amazon data to prove to them that Amazon is a representation of the marketplace, and the marketplace clearly demands this product, right? So it's kind of a neat factor there. But you need to have complete control over your Amazon listing so that they're saying, if I'm going to carry this product, I need to be guaranteed that I can either meet or beat Amazon's price. Otherwise, I don't want anything to do with your product. And you need to start looking, the best place to start is start looking at your top selling Amazon products. Take your top 10 or your top 20 Amazon products and see which of them meet some of this other criteria, and that would be a good place to start identifying if you have any good products for retail, and if so, which ones they are. Okay. And so we've got a video that we'll play here in a second. I told you these were being manufactured in Arizona, and I was not super happy with the manufacturing facility. At this point in the business, we were starting to meet with Target and Walmart, and I'm like, man, if we land one of these counts, I don't know if that place that's manufacturing these is going to be able to keep up with demand. This was a huge, huge concern for me. And so we took the plunge and we invested in our own injection molding equipment. I didn't know anything about injection molding. We invested in our own injection molding equipment, and so I wanted to show this video to you so you can kind of see the injection process. This literally takes place about 60 feet from my office. So we manufacture in-house literally. And so we're going to play this video, and I'll forewarn you. Well,
hi everybody, my name is Ben Howe, and I'm the Chief of Operations at Patriot Molding. We use state-of-the-art equipment and scientific processes with a wide variety of services to meet your needs. Some of those services include injection molding, quality control, assembly, packaging, tooling, and order fulfillment. Feel free to contact us for your free quote today.
is that the most exhilarating video you've ever seen? I didn't know anything about injection molding, and when we got into this world, I needed to find somebody who did. Ben is an amazing guy. He helped us get Patriot Molding off the ground, but it turns out that being in front of the camera is not his forte. We made that video right after we started Patriot Molding, which is our injection molding company, and I don't think we've ever actually used it. So lessons that I learned early in the brick and mortar world when I had these 150 stores, you need to start out with some guerrilla marketing. The cultivator claw that I just showed you guys, I literally had a coworker go through and Google garden nurseries across the country and get their email address and their physical address, and we shipped them samples with a pricing catalog. Guerrilla marketing. A term just means work hard, and you're going to do things that are going to be hopefully effective marketing that don't cost a lot of money, but they're usually a lot of work. Spend a little money. After you do some guerrilla marketing, if you're seeing any success, you got to spend a little bit of money, and you got to create a booth and attend expos. Expos, most of them in the country run anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 for a 10 by 10 booth. And of course, you've got your airfare and your hotel and different things on top of that. But if you want to be serious about getting into brick and mortar, expos are mandatory. I think our lead salesman has been to probably 8 or 9 expos this year already. So we still actively attend expos for multiple product lines now. You must create a product catalog with quantity breakpoints. When you're starting to get into brick and mortar, you're not going to be aiming at Walmart or Target. Okay, you need some history. You're going to be okay with those independent mom and pop stores. They're not going to want to order 100 of your product at a time. I mean, depends on what your product is, of course. But for Bear Paws, for example, some of them don't want to order 16 at a time, which is our minimum order quantity. 16 pairs of Bear Paws, and they're like, that's going to be like 2 years of inventory for me. It's like, oh, like how much do I really want in your business? But you need to create a product catalog with quantity breakpoints. Figure out how you can get to some of those lower quantities to get into brick and mortar, because these smaller stores are going to be your foundation as you're getting into retail. You need a dedicated shipping account. Most of us that are just Amazon or just FBA, we're just using Amazon's UPS account for everything. So you do need to get a dedicated shipping account. you need to be willing to sit on larger quantities of inventory than you're probably used to. And this is like taboo in this room, right? We all want inventory flow. We want efficiency, lean. The truth is you have to take care of your brick and mortar stores, and so you have to be willing to sit on a little bit more inventory if it's a product that they're ordering to ensure that you can fulfill their orders. It's insurance for you, more or less. And big box stores, as I kind of alluded to, they plan way in advance, and they are a long-term strategy. I literally started talking with Walmart 4 years ago with my lead salesman, and 2018 is the first year that we're in all 4,000 Walmart stores. It took that long. 2016, they started out and they put us in like 200 stores, and we were like, yes, we're in Walmart. We're only in 200 stores, but we're in Walmart. And then that was successful, and they were happy with it. So then they moved it to 500 stores. And after 500 stores, they were convinced that my sales pitch of Amazon is proving there is demand was not false. It was, in fact, true, and they decided to put us in all 4,000 stores. So that has been a big deal for us this year. And I just met with Walmart about a month ago, and we just locked in 2019 as well. That's how far in advance they plan, right? So I'm already in through the end of 2019. E-commerce and brick and mortar are not mutually exclusive. Quite the opposite is actually true. And this goes back to the fact of consumers want an omni-channel experience. If you're serious about building your brand, eventually you're going to need to be as accessible to consumers as possible because it's a value to them, right? If they can easily get your product within 30 minutes, if that's when they need it, that adds value to consumers. Big kudos to Death Wish Coffee for getting into Walmart. They're a very strong brand, as I'm sure all of you are aware, and that's a big deal. So lessons I've learned from big box, right? Now after getting into Target and Walmart, lessons I've learned is big box typically doesn't want to take time to set up a one product company, right? A one trick pony, so to speak. The reason is it takes a lot of time and money and effort for them to set you up as a vendor, and you're still going to be meeting with them annually. They're very busy people, and if you're going out there to meet with them for one product, that's a lot less value to their time than if you're going out there with a complete catalog and you have 10, 15, 20 products. So we were very unique in the fact that we were able to get in with pretty much one product. That's almost unheard of in the industry. So eventually you're going to want a branded product catalog with multiple products. The ability to private label your product is a huge advantage. The cocktail evening, I was talking with a gal who's, I'm sure, in this room, and I told her what my topic was, and like I feared, she's like, I don't want anything to do with brick and mortar. And so I was like, well, tell me why. Like, I want to know why. I've got a presentation. I can still make some adjustments. And she said, my brand. I'm worried about my brand. I don't want my brand to go down the toilet, right? People associate Walmart products with crappy quality. Like, this is a real thing. Well, because we created that oval track around bear paws, I do not sell bear paws to Walmart. I sell Expert Grill Claws to Walmart, which is Walmart's own brand, and it does not affect our bear paws brand, okay? So being able to have that ability to private label your products is a huge deal as you're striving to build these brands. EDI, electronic data interchanged. This is software that big stores will use to pretty much send purchase orders back and forth and to verify tracking information. EDI sucks, you guys. There's no two ways to talk. We literally have a computer that still has Windows 97 because that's the only thing that will work with SPS Commerce. It's ridiculous. EDIs are awful. I tried talking Brandon into writing new software, and when he saw what he did, he's like, I don't want anything to do with that. That's garbage. Like, that's not something I want to mess with. What else do you have? Here's one of my favorite principles that I've learned through big box retail, you guys. Like I mentioned, we only had one product. We were fortunate to get in with one product. Every 6 months, when we either talk to them or meet with our Walmart buyers or Target buyers or Cabela's buyers or Lowe's buyers or whoever it is we're meeting with, they're asking, what else do you have? Okay? We felt an obligation. We were like, oh, man, we need to really expand our product line. We were going to meet with Target. Target headquarters is awesome, by the way. It is full of, like, women in their mid-30s who are pretty attractive. It's like you walk into an actual Target store. It is crazy. Target headquarters is funny. All of their buyers are women in their mid-30s. And so we go to Target, and they're like, what else do you have? And we're like, man, we didn't want to tell them nothing, obviously. And we're like, how many of you guys have seen those little silicone barbecue gloves that are on Amazon too? They're everywhere as well. We knew they were a huge deal on Amazon. We wanted nothing to do with them on Amazon. The market was super saturated. Didn't want anything to do with those. However, because they were super popular on Amazon, and we hadn't seen them in many brick and mortar stores, we kind of pitched them the idea, and we did a little bit of research. We went to China, we figured out what our costs were, and we're like, well, we can get this product, and here's what your cost would be. You could retail them at this price. And she's like, okay, we'll put those in the 500 stores that you're in. We'd never even bought the product before, and we'd already pre-sold it to Target, right? These big box stores, they want more and more products. We're so used to, on Amazon, dealing with hundreds of competitors that are competing for the same thing. In the big box brick and mortar store, we're dealing with Meat Claws. I'm dealing with like 2 or 3 other competitors is all. Competition is a whole different thing, you guys. And the opportunities are awesome if you can get in there. Hidden fees. Yes, there are hidden fees. Everybody dogs on Walmart. They're like, Walmart's a horrible company. I love Walmart. I mean, obviously, it does more than pay my mortgage each month at this point. But Walmart is not as bad as it seems. What typically happens is that companies get into Walmart and they're not ready for it. Okay, those are the people who dog on Walmart. We build into our margins, we assume an additional 7% for hidden fees, like marketing fees, new store fees, return fees, etc. They have all these fees. We just build it into our margins ahead of time so we know to plan for that. Here's a big one. Walmart is net 120-day terms. When I first heard that, my jaw dropped. And we thought that like you would never believe. And they said, that is just our standard. There are very few, if any, companies that are below it. And it's companies we've worked with for decades and just do hundreds of billions of dollars with us. So obviously, Bear Paws was not in that category. Net 120-day terms. These guys are crazy. Here's another thing. Our Bear Paws, we ship them a master case of 16 pairs with 4 inner cases of 4. They're shipping 4 Bear Paws to a store at a time. They're cycling through inventory 3, 4, 5 times in a store before they ever pay for the first one that they sold. It's incredible. I don't hate Walmart. I make a lot of money from Walmart. This is just part of it, and you need to know it so that you can plan accordingly. They're a very smart company. And they'll phase your products in over time. I talked about this earlier, how we didn't start in 4,000 stores. We started in 200 stores and went to 500 and then 4,000 stores. And they respond marvelously to Amazon data. This is one of the fun. I came from an Amazon world. I knew Amazon. I didn't know brick and mortar. So we go to meet with Walmart and Target for the first time. And I'm coming, and half of my slides in those presentations are Amazon data. Okay? And they eat that stuff up. Here's an example, right? This is literally from my meeting with Walmart like 1 month ago. A couple months ago, she came to me, our Walmart buyer, and she says, hey, I'm seeing versions of your product on Amazon for $6.99. Well, because I know Amazon, I'm able to say, well, I know exactly how much they're paying for this product from China. Here's their Amazon fees. They're losing money. This is not a long-term solution. I used camel to prove to them that this is not the price they typically sell out, that they're clearly liquidating inventory, right? So if you have this Amazon information, you can be so much more powerful in the brick and mortar world. This first slide right here, this is literally all feedback from Amazon on the other competitors that she was looking at. And I said, well, they're getting horrible reviews. Here's their horrible reviews. Here's what they're saying. And this is why our version, the Bear Paws, do not apply to any of their horrible reviews. We're a better product, right? This one I particularly love. You can't really see it super well, but this is literally a screenshot from Jungle Scout, you guys, okay? I took a screenshot from Jungle Scout with the competitors. I showed her the numbers, and I said, yes, we're $12.95. They're selling for $6.99. Here's why they're selling for $6.99. But even though we're at $12.95, we're selling 100 times more than they are on Amazon because we're the original, we're the best, we're the only made in USA, etc. Right? I got this huge spiel. So Amazon evidence is awesome. You guys, I love brick and mortar so dang much that I opened up my own brick and mortar store. Right? Jeff kind of talked about this. This is actually kind of a funny story. We were selling our Bear Paws to an awesome barbecue store in Utah, and he wanted to open up a location that was actually really close to where I live. And so he did that. Unfortunately, he hired a vegetarian to run that barbecue store. They weren't very successful. I still, don't know why, but they hired a vegetarian to run that barbecue store. And so he was going to close the business, and I said, hold up, I think we could run it better. I didn't, dog on him too much, but I'm like, I wouldn't hire a vegetarian to run a barbecue store. And so we started, and we literally had 600 square feet, right? And it did awesome for us because we hired the right people. My team is everything. I've got a couple members of my team here today. My team is everything to me. If you read my LinkedIn, I emphasize very much that my employees and coworkers, I like to call them coworkers rather than employees, but my coworkers are my greatest asset, without a question. But I love barbecue so much, we opened a barbecue store. Traeger Grills are headquartered in Utah. We do a lot of their Facebook Live events when they're launching a Father's Day promotion or something because we are the meat smoking headquarters in Utah. This is Chris Marks. If any of you are big barbecue fans, you might be geeking out a little bit right now. Chris Marks is a really big deal in the barbecue world. He's a world-known pitmaster. He's on Barbecue Pitmasters. He's one of the most award-winning pitmasters of all time. Here's just an inventory shot of where our store is now. Our store is now about 2,000 square feet. We moved locations. We've grown tremendously. And then we teach barbecue classes as well. And so kind of a fun business. We have less than 1,000 SKUs. We do about $1 million a year in revenue. And we have 2 employees. It's a super, super simple business, but it's been awesome for us. One of the things that I love about and one of our strategies in doing this is it keeps us in tune with the barbecue industry, right? We know what people who are doing barbecue want. And so when we're going and we're meeting with Walmart, we know the industry as well, if not better than anybody, because we're so involved with it. We're actually opening up a second location in Salt Lake later this year. I don't really do anything with this business. My business partner kind of runs this side of it. So I want to talk to you guys briefly. How am I doing on time? Am I good? Okay. How much? 10? Okay. Oh, I got to go fast. So I want to talk to you briefly about vertical integration. This has been foundational to everything that we do. Vertical integration for us has been huge. So over here on the left-hand side for you, this is kind of the product line, right? You've got your manufacturing and your sourcing. Well, we've got Patriot Molding, and I put here Future Sourcing and Design Company. Currently, we're doing all of our sourcing and design through our e-commerce company. So eventually, we'll get that set up. But you have your manufacturing and your sourcing, and you have your brands and your product lines, okay? These are some of the brands that we sell. Some of them are for sale, if anyone wants to talk to me after. But these are some of the brands that we sell. And then we have a distribution company, which is currently really being done through Bear Paw Products, so Future Warehousing and Distribution Company. And then it goes to the wholesale level, and then it goes, obviously, to the consumer, or the MSRP. The reason I wanted to talk to you guys about this is, if you look at Bear Paws, for example, we own the complete process. Most retailers, or most product lines, they contract everything out, right? They contract out manufacturing. They contract out warehousing and distribution, and all these different things. We are completely vertigrated with Bear Paws right now. And what that does for us, if Walmart comes back to us and they're like, we need you to drop your cost to us by 10%, maybe Bear Paws can't handle a 10% drop. Maybe that would eliminate all their profit margins. But when you own the complete vertical integration, okay, Bear Paws is going to take 2% of that, Patriot Molding is going to take another 5% of that, etc. You have this accordion effect where you can absorb any of those changes that take place. That's why I'm so comfortable standing up here, honestly, and telling you guys all about this product that is pretty much my career at this point. We're completely vertically integrated. I'm not worried about somebody coming in and outdoing us on this product. We own the manufacturing. We own the complete vertical integration. Let's see. This is kind of an example. Going back to the Squatty Potty, right? Their MSRP is $24.99, and so this is kind of what that would look like in the industry. Let's say that the manufacturer or sourcing, they might be paying $5 for each one of those Squatty Potties after they do their packaging and everything else. And then the Squatty Potty brand itself is actually paying $6 for that product because the manufacturer needs to make a buck, right? Literally a buck in this case. And then distribution, right? There's a distribution channel. And then there's the distribution. The distributors are selling to the retailers, right? Most retailers are looking for 50% margins. Okay, that's something important to know. And so 50% margins or 100% ROI, however you want to term that. Retailers talk in terms of margins instead of ROI. That took me a while to figure out because I've always been an ROI guy. But most of them are shooting for 50%. There's some exceptions. Bed Bath & Beyond is a solid 60%. It's ridiculous. That means if they're going to sell the product for $10, you're selling to them for $4, okay? So retailers take huge margins, but they need to cover all their overhead. So I hope this is helpful to some of you. This is not necessarily the right business model for any or all, especially all of you, but maybe not even for any of you. But I hope it provides you a little bit of insight of why we choose to run the business the way that we do. And maybe you can get something out of that will benefit your business as well. This is just a slide of all the software that we use on a daily basis. Hopefully this is helpful. A lot of these I can't even imagine working without. Slack. Obviously, I'm not affiliated with Seller Labs in any way. All right, I don't work for them. I just happen to be brothers with the founder, and I happen to use their software. But these are all softwares that we use on a daily basis that have helped us tremendously. That slide was partially a test because Chad from Scubana had a slide like that, and everybody took pictures. And I was hoping more people would take pictures. I kind of want to end with this concept, you guys. Oh, did you want to take a picture of that? Yeah, let me get that for you. Thank you. That was so nice of you. So I wanted to kind of end with this concept of the flywheel, right? We're all very familiar with the flywheel. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I just want to point out, where does everything end up? It's all about the customer experience, you guys. This is something that is at the heart of everything that I do in my 5 companies. It is all about the consumer, right? Amazon's the same way. We know that they're consumer focused, and a lot of times we as sellers complain about that, but the truth is we want Amazon customers to be happy because they keep bringing us more business. So really, if we can align our direction and our will with Amazon's, we're going to be successful. So FBA and Amazon Prime, right? Strictly to provide value to consumers. Free 2-day shipping. They know that it's reliable shipping. They know that if it comes and it's banged up, that they can return it and get a new one or get a refund. Lightning deals, all right? Add value to the consumers. The consumers feel like they're getting a better deal. In most cases, they are. Amazon's very lenient return policy. Amazon Go, we talked about a little bit. Amazon Prime Air. You guys know what Prime Air is? They literally have drones, and I don't know if this is still in beta or what. They have drones that deliver certain products to homes. Why? Because they know consumers want products quicker and quicker. This was talked about a little bit yesterday. That's probably the big advantage that brick and mortar still has over e-commerce today, is that it is immediate gratification. They can get products immediately, and Amazon is doing everything in their power to get there. To Amazon Go, for example, I know they're using Uber drivers to do same-day delivery. And they're being so creative because they know that that's one of the powerhouses that brick and mortar has over them at this time. And they'll get there eventually. Product reviews, right? Amazon for us has been as much of a research tool as it is a selling marketplace. I just got back from Canton Fair, spent a couple weeks there. We had spent 3 months previously researching all of these products on Amazon and figuring out which products we wanted to source and figuring out what people didn't like about the products that were out there, right? This product's great, but it breaks really easy. Well, we're going to come with a plan on how to fix that. We went and we found, I told you earlier, we've got 40 of our unique owned products. We're going to be doubling that over the next 12 months for our e-commerce company and a lot for our retail company as well, retail distribution. But we went to Canton Fair with a plan. We don't go to shop. We go to find manufacturers of products that we already know we want. And I think that's what a lot of Amazon sellers do, is they go to shop. If you're going to shop, you're looking at pulling a product off the shelf and putting a label on it. And it's just, you're not adding much value to consumers in that instance. And so whatever success you're having is going to be short-lived, because eventually that market's going to get saturated if you're not adding additional value to consumers and differentiating. And then I put on here as well, Amazon training Chinese manufacturers. Do we all know this is happening? Right? Amazon is trying to train some Chinese manufacturers to sell directly on Amazon in a way to kind of cut us out, but ultimately it's to add more value to consumers so they can get the same products at a lower price because they're cutting out a middleman, right? So we need to differentiate and we need to add value to products. And so I kind of want to end with that thought. What are you doing to add value to Amazon customers? If your focus can become adding value to Amazon customers, whatever you're doing, whether it's vertically integrating so that you can reduce costs and know the product better and have complete control over the manufacturing process, whether it's going brick and mortar because you know that consumers want an omni-channel experience and there's this huge pie that's even bigger than e-commerce right now. What are you doing to add value to customers? And then end with this thought of your likelihood and level of success will directly correlate to the degree in which you add value to consumers. And that is a quote by Jordan Checketts. Very smart man. No, but I firmly believe that, and that's at the heart of everything that we do. And so I hope that if you're not currently doing that, I hope that that's something you'll consider. So I've got some sources, my contact information, and I don't know if we have any time for questions. I don't think we might not. Can anyone?
Hello?
Yes. Oh, the software one? Oh, you weren't kidding. I thought you were kidding. Yes. Do I have any time for questions?
We have time for a couple of questions.
Did I have
if
any?
anyone has one.
Was there even a desire for any questions? Sir? Yeah.
How do you sort of separate the different companies and the different steps, especially in light of FDA and Nexus and sales tax?
Yeah.
How do
No,
you keep those things separate?
great question. The question was, with us being completely vertically integrated, how do we keep the businesses separate? We have an in-house accountant who does not love our business structure, as you can imagine. So each and every single company is its own entity and has its own QuickBooks account, has its own bank account. Everything is completely separate. And so, when we're selling a pair of Bear Paws to Barbecue Pit Stop, my retail store, literally it's Patriot Molding selling it to Bear Paw Products, and Bear Paw Products then selling it to our brick and mortar store. Everything is done as though they were independent companies. And part of the reason for that is all of our service-oriented companies, so manufacturing, e-commerce distribution, those companies are foundational to us, and that's where all of our employees are paid their salaries. Our product lines actually don't have any employees, right? Because they contract out to all of our other companies where our employees are. And what that allows us to do is we can go and acquire a new company and plug it into our system and grow that product, and then we can easily, if we decide to, turn around and resell that company out, and it's a very, very clean process. So, any other questions? Sir? Yeah, so Walmart, the question was when Walmart branded our product, was that a licensing deal? We actually went to them with another product of ours called Barbecue Butler, and it's just the same claw with a Barbecue Butler logo, right? And because we knew we didn't want to tarnish our Bear Paw brand, and so when we were doing 200 stores and 500 stores, we were in there with Barbecue Butler. It was only when we jumped to 4,000 stores that they wanted to put their label on it. And there wasn't ever a licensing agreement signed or anything like that. It's pretty much the exact same process as when we were with Barbecue Butler. It's just obviously we have to order custom packaging, and we had to pay for those mold inserts and things like that. But there was no official signed licensing deal there. Anything else?
We have one on the side.
On the side? Oh, yeah. No, that's a great question. The question was, we're ordering products from China. Are we having them shipped directly to FBA? And the answer is no. Reason being is it is very uncommon for us to source a product strictly for Amazon or strictly for brick and mortar retail. Most of our products now carry over into both. And so we have a 28,000 square foot warehouse. We house all that in our warehouse. We ship from our warehouse to FBA for our Amazon, but we keep a good pile in our warehouse for our brick and mortar stores. So, all right, my name is Jordan. Thank you so much, everybody.